You know, when you think of a 16th century monastery, there is a very specific expectation, right?
Yeah, absolute purity.
Exactly, unbroken purity. So picture this scene. It's 1563. King Philip II of Spain is building this massive complex called the Escorial.
Right, out on that really harsh, windswept plateau.
Yeah, it's like 30 miles outside of Madrid. And it isn't just a royal palace, it's a working monastery. I mean, it's a towering basilica. It's this grand granite mausoleum for basically every Spanish king and queen who would ever rule.
It was essentially a fortress of faith, just built from cold mountain stone.
Right.
Philip stationed 400 monks there. And they didn't just, pray occasionally.
Like before meals or something.
Right, no. They prayed in strictly timed shifts.
Yeah.
Day and night. The intercession was literally never interrupted. It was this continuous, eternal hum of devotion.
Which is wild. And Philip even designed his own private bedroom in this highly specific way.
He did.
He arranged it so that the moment he opened his eyes in the morning, he was looking directly through a window at the high altar of the basilica.
Right, so his very first sight every day is the altar. It was a place of ultimate religious strictness.
Exactly. It's the ultimate display of absolute devotion. But here's the shocking twist.
Yeah.
Inside this very same ultra-religious, highly controlled building, Philip kept a secret. In his private rooms, he kept 6 huge paintings of naked women.
We're not talking about, subtle, modest religious art either.
Not at all. These were not saints looking up at the heavens. They weren't, moral allegories meant to teach a pious lesson.
Not far from it.
These were women in the absolute grip of desire. Women waiting for lovers, women being seized and carried across the sea with the shore just disappearing behind them.
Painted by the Venetian master Titian.
Right. And Titian, by the way, never even set foot in Spain.
Which just adds to the mystery. I mean, it is a stunning visual and psychological contradiction. You have the ultimate Catholic monarch hiding some of the most sensual, really forbidden art of the Renaissance.
Today, we are exploring this incredible historical contradiction. Why did the most feared, strictly religious king in Europe keep these highly sensual, forbidden themes just steps away from his praying monks?
It's a great question.
I mean, it's like building a solemn cathedral and then hanging centerfolds in the rectory. It makes absolutely no sense on the surface.
No, it really doesn't.
And before we get into it, if you enjoy unraveling bizarre historical mysteries like this one with us, take a second to subscribe and like the show. It really helps us bring these stories directly to you.
What's fascinating here is that Philip was a man who decided everything.
Oh, total control freak.
Utterly. He was a notorious micromanager. He managed his entire global kingdom down to the smallest detail. I mean, he approved every appointment. He read every dispatch.
He probably approved the exact type of stone for the walls.
Literally. He designed every single room in the Escorial. He was not a man who left things to chance. So putting these sensual paintings in a monastery was not some interior design accident. It was a very deliberate choice. He chose the building, he chose the paintings, he chose to put them together.
Right, but that just makes the mystery deeper for me. To figure out why Philip wanted these forbidden themes on his walls, we can't just look at the building.
We have to look at the men.
Yeah. Wait, how did a strict Spanish king even cross paths with the Venetian painter known for this kind of art in the first place? Take us to Augsburg in the year 1550.
Okay, so Augsburg in 1550 is an incredibly tense place.
Very tense.
The Holy Roman Empire is actively fracturing.
Yeah.
The peace agreement that would eventually let German princes choose their own religion is still 3 years away.
So everyone is on edge.
Absolutely. There's a very real threat of endless war. Every court in Europe carries the distinct smell of men who just do not know how the religious and political arguments are going to end.
And right in the middle of this massive tension is Charles V. He's the aging ruler of the empire, and he is just tired.
Exhausted.
He's the largest power in the world, but he can feel that power starting to slip through his fingers. He knows he has to secure the succession.
Exactly. So Charles summons Titian to Augsburg to paint his son, Philip.
And Titian is older at this point.
Yeah, Titian is 62 years old. He is an absolute legend. He has already painted Charles twice. He's painted popes, cardinals, wealthy merchants.
We've seen it all.
Right. He's painted the most powerful people in the world, and he knows how they think. And Philip, his subject, is only 23.
So you have this young, untested prince sitting for an older, legendary artist who has basically seen everything.
It's a brilliant dynamic.
Philip sits there in silver armor. His posture is perfect. His expression is, perfectly practiced. He knows he is being observed by the entire world.
Yeah, he's inheriting a fractured empire, so his armor is both literal and psychological.
And Titian is an absolute master at reading people.
Oh, completely. He had spent 50 years painting desire. He knew exactly what desire looked like in a powerful man.
Which is usually particularly loud, right?
Exactly. It usually announces itself loudly. It takes up space. It's always seeking something, whether that's land, wealth, or conquest. But when Titian looks at young Philip in that silver armor, he does not see raw desire.
He sees absolute rigid restraint.
Yes. Philip was a man educated for rule before he was educated for anything else.
Wow.
Titian didn't see a lack of desire in Philip. He saw the intense ironclad discipline of it. Philip lived his entire life in a state of permanent, unresolved tension.
Because of the religion.
Right. On one side, he had a religious devotion that allowed zero exceptions. On the other side, he had very real human appetites.
Yeah.
And neither side ever won. It was a 50-year stalemate.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this is where I get confused.
Sure.
You are describing Philip as the ultimate control freak, a man who micromanages his global empire, his religious image, and his own mind. If he controlled every tiny detail, why on earth did he give Titian complete freedom over these paintings for 20 years? I mean, how does a strict king give a blank check to an artist known for painting desire?
That is the perfect question, and the answer actually lies in the mechanics of Renaissance culture.
Okay.
He gave Titian freedom over the subject, the manner, and the bodies he painted. To understand why Philip allowed that, and how he got away with it without the Spanish Inquisition knocking down his door, we have to look at the loophole Titian used.
Right, because 2 years after that meeting in Augsburg, Titian writes a letter to Philip.
He does.
He offers him a painting called Venus and Adonis, and Titian mentions that this new piece is based on an earlier work he did called Danae.
The Danae was a famous painting of a woman waiting for a god. She is lying on a bed, bathed in this warm golden light.
And the god arrives as a shower of gold rain.
Exactly. She receives the god, but she doesn't pursue him. Interestingly, Michelangelo actually saw the Danae in Rome.
Oh, I love this part.
Yeah, he praised the magnificent colors, but he bluntly stated that Venetian artists simply could not draw.
A little Renaissance shade there.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. But Michelangelo was hitting on something real, right? I mean, the Florentine artists, like Michelangelo, prioritized drawing and structure.
Right, disegno.
While the Venetians, like Titian, prioritized color and emotion.
Oh, exactly.
And Titian completely ignores the critics anyway. He tells Philip he's creating a new series. He calls these new works he is making for the king Poesie, visual poetry.
And that specific word, Poesia, is the mechanical key to the whole mystery.
How so?
Poesia was a recognized category in the Renaissance. It was a legal and social loophole. It was essentially a cultural permission slip.
Oh, I see.
By calling these paintings visual poetry, Titian was linking them to the ancient Roman poet Ovid and his book, The Metamorphoses.
So because it's based on ancient Roman literature, it gets classified as classical humanism, not theology.
We've got it.
It creates a specific space where strict religious doctrine has to step back. It allowed the senses to speak about things that the church kept completely silent. So it wasn't a transgression, it was a license.
Precisely. The Inquisition couldn't touch it because it was educational classical myth.
That is so clever.
And Philip fully understood this secret language. It was a perfectly designed mechanism to explore forbidden themes without breaking his own official rules.
You know, it makes me think of a pressure valve on a steam engine.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Like, the Escorial's strict religious rules were the heavy iron boiler, just building up immense, crushing pressure every single day.
Right.
And Titian's paintings were the tiny, controlled release valve. If Philip didn't have those canvases to safely vent that raw human desire, his entire psychological engine might have exploded.
That is a much better way to look at it. It was a necessary release.
Wow.
Over 9 years, Titian sends 6 of these massive paintings to Spain. And there is a very clear intentional progression in the hidden meanings across the series.
The style changes too, doesn't it?
It does. The style and the emotion change drastically.
Walk us through that progression. How do the paintings actually change?
Well, the first 3 paintings arrive between 1553 and 1556. There's Danae, waiting in that warm golden light.
Right.
Then Venus and Adonis, where the goddess is begging her mortal lover to stay. But Adonis is already pulling away, turning toward the forest and his own eventual death.
Tragic.
Then Perseus and Andromeda, a woman chained to a cold rock, waiting for a rescue she did not ask for.
So those first three are entirely about waiting?
Yes.
They are about being stuck in the space of desire. You are wanting something or being wanted, but you have absolutely no power to determine how the story ends. The tension is static.
Exactly. The colors are rich, the brushstrokes are relatively smooth, but then the tone shifts entirely.
What happens?
The last three paintings arrived between 1559 and 1562. Titian is older now. His technique changes.
He gets looser, right?
Much looser. He starts applying paint thicker, sometimes using his fingers instead of a brush. The scenes become visually chaotic. We get Diana and Actaeon, Diana and Callisto, and the Rape of Europa.
And these last three abandon the waiting entirely.
Completely.
They are all about passing the point of no return. Secrets are violently exposed in front of everyone. The shore is completely gone. There's nothing left to hold on to.
The defining moment is known or revealed or forcibly taken, and nothing could ever go back to the way it was.
And Philip had all of these.
Philip ordered all six.
Yeah.
Paid for all six. He kept all six in his private rooms. But he never explained to anyone which half of the story he was actually reading.
Oh, that's interesting.
Was he focused on the permanent tension of waiting, or was he obsessed with that tragic point of no return?
To really understand this point of no return, we need to look closely at one specific painting. It's the one that hung right there in Philip's cold private rooms, Diana and Actaeon.
It is a massive, overwhelming canvas. It's nearly 2 meters wide. It shows a secluded forest pool. There are 7 flowers in the scene, surrounded by stone and water.
The mythology behind it is that Actaeon is a hunter, right?
Right.
He's out in the woods with his dogs. He accidentally pushes back a curtain he never should have touched, and he stumbles upon the goddess Diana bathing with her nymphs.
And Diana's right at the center of the frame. Her arm is raised.
In shock.
Sort of, but also in judgment. She was given no choice in this matter. She didn't invite this mortal man to look at her. Therefore, under the rules of the gods, punishment must follow the act of seeing itself.
Because he saw a forbidden theme.
Exactly. Once he sees her, the cosmic law is broken, and it just cannot be undone.
But Titian captures something incredible here.
Yeah.
He doesn't paint the initial shock, and he doesn't paint the final punishment.
No, he doesn't.
He captures the exact microsecond of realization. Actaeon is standing at the edge of the frame. His face shows complete understanding of what he has just done, but there is no fear yet.
Right, the fear hasn't hit.
There's no guilt yet. It is the very instant before the human emotion even registers in his brain.
And if you look closely at Actaeon's forehead, you can see the absolute genius of it.
Wait, what's on his forehead?
The very first tiny curve of antlers is already visible growing out of his skin.
Oh, wow.
The physical transformation into a stag has already begun. He is doomed. He's already dead. He just doesn't consciously know it yet.
That is chilling.
Titian was 68 when he painted this. He stripped away all the noise. He didn't paint the cause, and he didn't paint the death. He painted the suspended instant right between them.
Wait, I have looked at pictures of that painting before, and I never noticed the antlers.
They are very subtle.
He's physically transforming before his brain even processes the terror. That is brilliant.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
think about the physical contrast inside the Escorial. The psychology of this space is staggering.
It really is staggering. On one side of the stone wall, you have monks chanting in endless, disciplined prayer. And then literally 30 feet away, inside the private rooms, you have this massive, warm, vibrant Venetian canvas.
This warm color hanging on freezing mountain stone.
You have soft, erotic lagoon light glowing inside a fortress designed entirely for strict Catholic prayer.
And Philip designed both of those spaces.
Right. And he moved between them every single day, which makes me wonder about his mindset.
How so?
Well, if you are curating the spaces you live in, much like how we curate our, public social media feeds versus our private search histories, what does that say about you?
That's a great point.
Did Philip see himself as Actaeon? Here is a king who controls the world, staring at a guy who made one wrong move, pushed back one curtain, and is totally doomed. Was Philip secretly terrified that one tiny slip of his own strict self-control would destroy him entirely?
It is a very compelling psychological theory.
It just fits so perfectly.
It does. Philip lived his entire life governed by absolute rules. Actaeon broke a rule, even accidentally, and the consequences were immediate, absolute, and fatal.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate mistake of giving in to the senses. Philip stared at that mistake every day.
But Actaeon's story does not end with that microsecond of realization.
No, it doesn't.
And ironically, neither does Titian's relationship with King Philip.
That is right. There is a massive missing piece to this historical puzzle.
The seventh painting.
Exactly. There was a seventh painting in the series.
It was called The Death of Actaeon. And this painting shows the brutal punishment, the terrible reality that happens the moment after the suspended instant.
It takes place in the exact same forest. It's the same man. But his body has been completely overtaken.
He's fully changed.
The transformation is complete. He is a full stag. His own hunting hounds are violently tearing at his legs and his throat.
Ugh, it's gruesome.
And Diana is standing at a distance, her bow raised, just coldly watching him die. It is the brutal, bloody consequence of having seen what you were not meant to see.
Now, Titian painted it. People in Venice knew the canvas existed. Art collectors and visitors had physically seen it sitting in his studio.
They wrote about it.
Right. But he never sent it to Spain.
He sent the first 6 across the sea, carefully created and shipped to the king, but not this one.
And the historical records are fascinating here. The archives hold hundreds of letters between Philip's court and Titian.
Oh, the letters are incredible.
They cover a span of 20 years, and they talk about incredibly mundane things. They discuss grain shipments coming from Naples. They argue over unpaid pensions. They track debts owed from Milan.
Just endless bureaucracy. But in all of those letters, across 2 decades, they never once mentioned this 7th painting.
Not once.
Titian continued to work on it until he died during the plague in August of 1576.
Such a tragic end.
The historical account says he died with a brush in his hand. The plague sealed the city of Venice, and his studio was locked up and left exactly as it was. The painting simply stayed there on the easel.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it sent? Why did an absolute monarch like Philip, a guy who tracked missing grain shipments, ask for the final piece of his extremely expensive art collection?
It's the big question.
My theory is that maybe Philip did not want the 7th painting. He didn't want to look at the brutal punishment.
He wanted the middle of the story.
Yes. He wanted to live in that suspended state of tension forever, just like he did in his own mind. He wanted the desire and he wanted the restraint, but he never, ever wanted to face the bloody consequence of those two things colliding.
That makes perfect psychological sense when you look at how he governed his own life.
Isn't it?
To hang that 7th painting on the walls of the Escorial would be to resolve the tension. It would end the story.
Right.
Philip's entire identity was defined by unresolved tension. He lived his life in the narrow space between the praying monks and the naked women. He never chose one over the other.
And he stayed right in that space until the very end. Let's fast forward to September 1598. Philip is dying in the Escorial.
It was a very grim, painful end. His physicians recorded the agonizing details.
It sounds awful.
His body was completely consumed by severe gout and rampant infection for his final 6 weeks.
But true to his ironclad nature, he refused any pain relief.
Not at all.
He refused any softening of the end. He lay in his bed looking through the specific window he had designed, and he died watching the monks pray at the high altar.
But those 6 sensual visual poems remained right there on his private walls.
He kept them until he took his last breath. Those paintings outlived him by 400 years.
They did.
And that unsent 7th painting, the brutal punishment he never asked for. It now sits quietly in room 11 of the National Gallery in London.
A masterpiece of consequence that he never asked for.
So what does this all mean for us today? Why does the psychology of a Spanish king from 1563 matter to you listening right now?
It's surprisingly relevant.
I think it's because we all have our own version of the Escorial. We all have that disciplined, strict face we show the public. The rules we follow at work. The perfect image of control we project to our friends and family.
But we also have our own hidden canvases.
Yeah.
We have private desires. We have hidden tensions. We have messy emotions that we keep locked away inside our own private rooms, venting the pressure just enough to keep going.
We curate our lives just like Philip curated his walls. We carefully choose what to show the world and what to hide.
We really do.
And just like Philip, we often prefer to live in that suspended instant, that safe space between what we want and what the rules allow, hoping the reality never crashes down on us.
This raises an important question.
Yeah.
If Titian's 7th painting represents the brutal, unavoidable consequences of our hidden desires, do we deliberately avoid looking at our own consequences? When you curate the story of your own life, which truths do you intentionally leave hidden in the studio?